When was the last time you were wrong out loud? I don't mean a small thing, not a typo in an email or getting a date wrong in a meeting. I mean a real mistake, a judgment call that cost you time or money or trust. And you stood in front of your team and owned it. No spin, no deflection, just, I got it wrong. And here's what I learned. If you're struggling to think of the last time that happened, you're not alone. Most leaders in construction don't do it. And I get it. This is an industry where credibility is everything. You've spent years building a reputation. The last thing you want is to look like you don't have the answers. But here's the problem. If you can't be wrong out loud, why would anyone on your crew? If the person at the top of the chain doesn't model what it looks like to admit a mistake, raise a concern, or say, I don't know, then you have set the ceiling for honesty on your entire project. And that ceiling is low. That's what psychological safety is. Not a soft concept, not a corporate initiative. It's the operating condition that determines whether problems get surfaced early or buried until they blow up. Whether a second-year apprentice tells the foreman something doesn't look right, or keeps their mouth shut because the last person who spoke up got embarrassed in front of the crew, or worse. In episode 10, we talked about mental wellness, protecting the individual. Today, we're talking about what protects the team. And it starts with one question. Have you made it safe for the people around you to be honest? I'm Angelo Suntres. This is the human side of construction. Let's get into it. Construction projects run on communication, dozens of trades, multiple levels of management, fast-moving timelines, high stakes. And in that environment, the thing that kills you is what people know but don't say. Think about it from the field up. A worker notices a condition that doesn't look quite right. Maybe it's a safety hazard. Maybe it's a sequencing problem. Maybe it's something in the drawing that isn't going to work in the field. They think about raising it. Then they think about what happened the last time someone raised something. They got dismissed, talked over, or humiliated in front of the crew. So they stay quiet, and the problem grows. That silence has a dollar value. It shows up in the rework, in schedule delays, in safety incidents that could have been prevented, in change orders that started as a whisper someone didn't feel safe turning into a conversation. And the worst part, in most organizations, leadership doesn't even know it's happening. Because by definition, the problems that don't get raised are the ones you never hear about, until they become impossible to ignore. So if silence is this expensive, what's actually driving it? That's where we have to look at the culture. Let's be honest, construction built a lot of things using fear as a motivator. Intimidation, hierarchy, the unspoken rule that you don't challenge the person above you. And for a long time, it produced awesome results. Projects got built, deadlines got met, people fell in line. But that model has a shelf life. The workforce that accepted it is aging out. The one coming in has a fundamentally different relationship with authority, with communication, and with what they're willing to tolerate in a work environment. We covered this in early episodes. More importantly, the fear model was never actually that efficient. It just looked efficient on the surface. Underneath, it was suppressing information that could have prevented problems. It was driving out people who had something valuable to contribute, but didn't feel safe contributing it. And it was creating a culture where the loudest voice in the room won, whether or not it was the right voice. Psychological safety is not the opposite of accountability. You can still hold people to a high standard. You can still run a tight site. But you do it in a way that encourages people to bring you problems early, admit mistakes before they compound, and share ideas without worrying that it's going to cost them. So what does it actually look like when psychological safety is working on a job site? Let's make it concrete. Psychological safety sounds abstract until you see what it produces. Here's what it looks like in practice. It looks like a foreman running a toolbox talk and asking, genuinely asking, does anyone see anything on this site today that concerns them? And then waiting, not filling the silence, not moving on after 3 seconds, actually creating the space for someone to speak. It looks like a project manager admitting in a coordination meeting that the team missed something, and the response from the room being, how do we fix it, instead of who's getting blamed for it. It looks like a second-year apprentice telling a journeyman they don't understand an instruction, and the journeyman taking 30 seconds to explain it instead of making them feel stupid for asking. And it looks like what happens when someone gives feedback or raises a concern, something actually changes. Because nothing kills psychological safety faster than asking for honesty and then doing nothing with it. Workers learn fast. If they speak up and nothing moves, or worse, if they get punished for it, they'll never do it again. And neither will anyone who watched it happen. The recognition piece matters more than most leaders realize. A pat on the back, a good catch, a public acknowledgement that someone's input made a difference. Construction is an industry where most of the feedback people receive is about what went wrong. Flip that ratio even slightly, and you change the entire dynamic. All of this starts in one place, and it's not with a policy. Psychological safety is not a program you roll out. It's a behavior you model. And it starts with whoever is leading the room. If you want your people to raise concerns, you have to show them what that looks like by raising your own. If you want them to admit mistakes, you have to go first. If you want honesty, you have to prove, through your actions, not your words, that honesty is safe here. That means being approachable. It means actively seeking input, not just tolerating it. It means responding to bad news without shooting the messenger. And it means being consistent, because one bad reaction can undo months of trust building. This is hard, especially in an industry built on certainty and control. Admitting you don't have all the answers feels like a risk, but the truth is, the riskiest thing you can do as a leader is create an environment where nobody tells you the truth until it's too late. And here's the payoff. When psychological safety is real, not performative, but real, it directly improves physical safety. Problems get surfaced early. Near misses get reported. Hazards get flagged before they become incidents. The safest sites in the industry are not the ones with the best PPE. They're the ones where people feel safe enough to speak up. So here's where I want to leave you today. Psychological safety is not about making people comfortable. It's about making honesty possible. It's the operating condition that determines whether your team brings you the truth early enough to do something about it or stays quiet until the cost is too high to ignore. And it starts with you. Not a policy, not a workshop. You. The way you respond to bad news. The way you handle a mistake, yours or someone else's. And the way you show up in the room. Here's one thing I want you to do. The next time you're in front of your team, be wrong out loud. Share a mistake you made, a real one, and what you learned from it. Watch what happens to the crew when the person with the most authority is the one who goes first. It will feel uncomfortable. It should. That's how you'll know you're doing it right. I'm Angelo Suntres. This is the human side of construction. Let's get to work. There's a lot to do. If you're a leader in the construction industry and want to discuss how you are addressing workforce challenges in your organizations, or if you have a construction experience that you want to share with the world, we want to hear from you. Reach out to me at angelo@hsoc.one, that's ANGELO @hsoc.one, to see how we can work together.